So Joel, you have something to share with us about your technology?
I'd love to share it with you. Uh, XTI 360 is the world's first and only binderless coating that will adhere to virtually any surface and, once applied, kill dangerous virus and bacteria germs 24/7 for at least a year on contact with the surface.
Sounds too good to be true. Gavin, what do you think?
This is really important, Jeff, as we're developing relationships through ISSA and GBAC with people like Joel, Jared, and Emily that work there. It's being able to understand that this new technology, being able to educate and have people learn new knowledge and new skills, and to actually be, keep with our philosophy of evidence-based. So again, this relationship that we're just starting to develop now with Joel and XTI 360 is very, very exciting.
You're talking about putting something on surfaces to protect us.
That's correct. The general idea of this is to substitute technology for human behavior. We've had, in the course of human society, first attention with any kind of a disease is to medicine to cure it. The second is to a vaccine. What we've totally ignored with respect to technology up to now is the ability to interdict transmission. For now, everybody's relied on human behavior. Keep your hands in your pockets. Don't touch anything. Wear a mask. Do things as people to protect yourself. This lets you take your hands out of your pocket. You can touch everything. Anything that's touched by a person who's infected, the germs they leave behind will be killed virtually immediately. And then over a period of a couple of minutes, they'll be vaporized. There'll be nothing left of them at all. So anybody can come behind them and touch the same surface and not worry about picking up a virus or bacteria.
Yeah, this is really important, Jeff, as we try to fill the gaps. Again, as we improve and update technology for everyone that we work with, as we increase productivity and performance, as we focus on the science, the evidence, as we focus on uniformity of work processes. So this is important as we see this technology, as it's been out there for a while, the marketing is starting to crank up, but also we're filling that needed gap of the science, the evidence. Where does it work? Where does it not work? But more importantly, it requires people. How do people apply this in a way that it's designed by the manufacturers to ensure it does work?
Our intention is to train them and license them where they have large staffs that perform cleaning functions already. We're not trying to gear up to 10,000 people who roam the countryside applying this to everywhere. We think that large corporations that are involved in this already, that have staffs, want to keep them in place, and we would come in and train them and certify the individual technicians, which would be a good certification. If they move from one company to another, they'd be certified to apply the XTI 360 for the next company, and teach them how to do it so that they can perform all of this in the course of how they normally run their business. For those manufacturers who want to have coated products, we can figure out how to interject this at the assembly line and have automatic coating sprayers, so to speak, that will treat the individual items as they come down the assembly line, which is obviously a much evener treatment, more even treatment, so that the coating would last even longer.
We have assumed within the industry, within the frontline essential employees that are going out there every day to clean those high touch surfaces, to make buildings safe, that they've been trained and educated in a way that gives them the confidence, the skill sets, and the knowledge to do this. What Joel's just outlined is that we're moving away from this verbiage of read the label, read the manufacturer's manual, read the safety data sheet. No, training, education, development programs are essential within our industry. It's important that we develop partnerships with organizations, companies like Joel through his company, through XTI 360 with his technology, and that we increase the employee confidence as well as the consumer confidence in understanding that what we're doing is science-based and it works. And so again, move away. Don't just read the label, actually be part of a training and development program.
Now, the other thing is, Gavin, I think we're trying very, very hard as we launch this to first introduce it in those areas where it would do the most good for society. So that, for example, there are places where people might want it, but it really would only affect a relatively few people. We think of this as something that belongs in the New York City subway system. We think of it as something that belongs in the White House, the Congress, and the Supreme Court to make sure that the government isn't totally affected by something like COVID-19, which has been running through our government for the last 3 months, all through the top ranks in the White House. We think it belongs in those
True.
areas where people congregate most heavily: hotels, restaurants, all the places that we think of as being heavy transmission, schools. Everywhere that we think of as where disease spreads is where we think we ought to be first. And then we hope it spreads through everywhere to fulfill our mission that every touchable surface in the world should be coated with XDI 360 and germ-free. The place we started, by the way, is with medical masks. And this was our first point of interdiction that we thought was appropriate, is in medical masks. So this is coated with XDI 360, and germs will die upon touching the surface, upon being placed on the surface. So you can wear this mask, as long as the mask holds up, you can wear this mask knowing that it's going to continually be germ-free for the life of the mask. So hospitals can use less masks over the course of the day, where normally you'd have to, as you walk out of a room, you've got to take the mask off, throw it away, put on a new one to prevent cross-infection. This prevents cross-infection. So it's a mask that protects the wearer, not just the other people by the wearer using the mask. The wearer is protecting themselves with this as well as all other people. So we will have, starting at the beginning of the year, we will also have the most advanced automated assembly line to make masks. And that will be located just outside of Philadelphia. So we will be making masks in the United States. We will be making PPE of the highest quality in the United States, all coated with XDI 360. Yeah, so that will be available to the same people who would need it in their facilities. So if a hotel is going to coat the hotel, we have masks for their employees and for their guests.
It's very important. We're trying to create a culture. We're trying to create a culture around not just the science and the evidence from the lab, but also what works in the real world. And as this improved, updated technology comes to the marketplace, has been in the marketplace right now, how do we enhance the competitive edge, the growth opportunities, employee workplace morale? How do we establish our industry with better reputation and improve our customer evaluation? And it's through these partnerships that the GBAC team, the Global Biorisk Advisory Team, Advisory Council is going to help facilitate, work with people like Joel, work with other companies as well to actually create a reputation, create a culture of this is what works, and then work out, more importantly, how to take this to scale so everyone has an opportunity to use what works.
Yeah, very important, Gavin. We're very supportive of the work you're doing in education, because obviously any technology is only going to work if people apply it properly. And so the GBAC program, the STAR program especially, that teaches everybody what are the problems on the street, how do you solve it on the street. And so we're very, very excited to be part of that program.
You're very welcome, Joel. Look forward to our partnership.
Thank you very much.
Good stuff. Thanks, guys.